Hello, my name is Emily Buffington, and today I'm going to be talking about Druids in D&D 5e, both from the player's perspective and as a DM. So I'm going to start by talking about the druid that I played. Her name was Onyx Twilight. She's a pixie druid, circle of the moon. One of the things I really liked most about her as a druid was being able to add in a lot of role-playing capabilities with wild shape and the different spell options that they had. So even outside of encounters, I was able to use the flavor and different fun aspects of the class itself to do really fun stuff. In one of my campaigns, I had a druid, and her name was Portabella, and she was really fun. I loved having her, and her main goal, she grew up in this forest, and the forest started dying because she had prevented a forest fire or something. She wasn't super specific, but her goal from then on was to go and burn down forests to cleanse them before they could die and like kill off the good things about it or whatever. And it was really fun. So whenever they walked into a forest, like as they were leaving, she'd be like, burn, and then she'd just burn it down. And I liked having her a lot as the player. She's actually the one that motivated me to play Onyx. I love wild shape. I think that it is just such a fun ability, just as a general rule, like having a player that has it, using it, and I've had some NPCs. I'm going to be honest, I don't use Druid NPCs as much because I don't want to make encounters too complicated, and I feel like when I have like a bunch of different classes, like throwing a Druid in there hasn't been something I do a lot, but it's definitely something I want to work on because I feel like it is like really cool. And we don't have a Druid in our party right now, so it'd be kind of fun to like throw a Druid at them and just have them wild shape and everything like that. But what I really like about wild shape is just I love animals. I'm a pretty big animal person, which is why I'm kind of like, I don't really like the way that 5e does this. I think that you should be able to transform into more powerful animals. They get lower levels, but I see why they don't want you to, because I mean that could get pretty overpowered pretty quick. But I don't know, it's just fun, like, and not being able to turn into animals that fly until you're way higher levels or swim even. Yeah, it's just not one of my favorite things. I think that they're pretty nerfed in that way and not really able to, like, that's like their really cool thing, like their class feature, and they're not really able to use it to its fullest extent. So that is something about Druids that like makes me hesitate as a player, and just, I don't know, it just, if I ranked my classes, Druid isn't one of my favorites, even though I loved playing it, but I had a DM who gave me an extra item where I could wild shape more. Like, I really liked how in the D&D movie, they had her like wild shape all the time and like switch to all the different animals, and I'm like, that is so cool, and that's very much how I wish Druids actually worked, but that's just not how they do it. So that's one of my main complaints about being a Druid, but their spellcasting list is awesome, and when they can wild shape, it's fantastic. Overall, I think that Druids are awesome, and I love that the role-playing capabilities that they have, and I really liked having one in my party, and I liked playing one, but as far as classes go, it's not my favorite because I feel like the things that make the class really cool aren't as powerful as some of the things in other classes. So it really depends on what kind of game you're going for. If you're going for more flavor and like fun little things where you can like turn into a mouse and hide or whatever, things like that, then Druids are awesome. But as far as being like really strong, it probably isn't the class I would go for, but it's still really fun to play. But I was definitely, by the time I was done with the campaign with Onyx, I was ready to not be a Druid anymore. I was ready to pick a new class, even though I loved her, but it was time to move on, and I was just ready for something different. So there is my thoughts on Druid.